So we all wind up asking the big questions at some point in our lives, right? Who am I? Why do I act the way I do, like the things I like, have trouble with the things that I have trouble with? And why am I here? Why am I on this really rough ride called Earth School? What's the point of it all, right? So I read a book a very long time ago that completely changed my life, and I'd like to share it with you. It's called Spiritual Astrology, and that's by Jan Spiller and Karen McCoy. And I would highly, highly recommend that you get a copy of this book if this is something that you're interested in, or if the topic for today's video is something that you would like to learn more about. And for me, when I read this book, it changed everything, because it put into words things that I had always felt in my being but could never articulate, and it filled in the blanks with concepts and ideas that I had never heard before, but as soon as I read them, they instantly rang true for me at the deepest level. And all of this ties back into why I love astrology so much. So let's get a brief overview of what this concept of spiritual astrology is and how you can start to unlock some of these questions for yourself using astrology. So the concept of this spiritual astrology, why are we here, is that we are spiritual beings who are on an eternal quest toward self-actualization, but that we are only able to progress on that journey towards self-actualization through the human experience. We just can't learn and grow any other way. And so when our souls are ready to make that next step in our own personal journeys, we choose to come into this life in order to learn and grow in the ways that we need to progress towards our highest selves. And the moment in time that we are born into this world, there is a stamp on the universe that becomes our natal chart in astrology that actually holds so many of the keys and answers to our personal journey. It explains to us who we are and why we're here. It explains to us why we feel the way we do about certain things, why we struggle with certain things. The key to why you personally came here to learn and evolve lies within your astrological chart. But it's not all take and no give. So I also believe in a concept called spiritual contracts. And it means that when we choose to come into this life in order to learn, the universe asks us to also give something of ourselves. And so we agree, when we choose to come here, to share certain gifts that are natural and easy to us with the world, so that those that we interact with can benefit from that on their journeys. So we agree that if we come here to learn certain lessons, that we will give our natural gifts in order to help other people on their journeys. Now, there's a lot of things that can happen here when some of this goes wrong, or we forget why we're here. We choose not to share those gifts with the world. We choose not to learn the lessons that we came here to learn. This causes a whole lot of problems for us. We're going to discuss that in another video. But ideally, that's how it would work. If you want to know what the contract was that you signed when you came here, you can look up your natal chart and find out what your north and south nodes are. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about north and south nodes in another video, but for now, just know that these nodes represent that spiritual contract that you made with the universe, the answers to why you came here, and what you were asking to learn and what you were offering to give lie in those nodal placements. So if you're interested in looking up your own natal chart, you can get one for free at cafeastrology.com and search for their natal charts. I've been using this chart for a very long time. It's not going to be quite as accurate, as thorough as if you had it done by a professional astrologer, but it's going to be pretty darn good and very, very close. And especially if you're brand new to this, there is more than enough for you to work with in this auto-generated chart. So I'm not affiliated with them, but I highly recommend using their charts. I use them all the time for myself, my friends, my children, everybody. So that's how you can go look up your own natal chart. You will need your birth time, which is printed on your birth certificate. So hopefully you have access to that because in order to get the most accurate natal chart possible, you're going to need to put in that birth time and location. I think that's enough for a first dip into these concepts. Stay tuned for our next video where I give my thoughts on the concept of whether or not our children choose us, which is something I hear said a lot, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on whether or not our children choose us when they come into this lifetime. That'll be pretty juicy. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Do you resonate with this concept of the spiritual astrology and this spiritual contract or not? Have you ever heard of these things before, or is this the first time you've heard of them? Let's have a conversation in the comments. I'll see you there. Bye.